The Reminders app has evolved from a basic to-do list into a complete task management system. Reminders has unique capabilities with deeper integration with Siri and other aspects of iOS and iPadOS. Now, in iOS and iPadOS 17, Apple has added 5 more features that could turn Reminders into the only task manager most people need. Plenty of third-party apps in the App Store have powerful task management features, but with Apple steadily adding new features to the built-in Reminders app, you might reconsider using a third-party app. Let's get started with the new features in Reminders. The first new feature we'll talk about is grocery lists. So let's go ahead and open up the Reminders app. And I have a grocery store in my area called Giant Eagle. And you'll see here that I have a list of all the items that I need to purchase at Giant Eagle. But in this new feature, Apple will categorize the list for you by sections in the grocery store, like produce, meat, personal items. So if you have a list already created of your grocery store, you can go ahead and tap on the 3 dots in the upper right corner. We're going to tap on Show List Info. And now you'll see that, I've already created an icon. I've picked a color that I want to use. And now if I tap on this new area that says List Type, right now it's in the standard format where everything's just in a list form. If I tap on this and I choose groceries and tap on Done, you'll see how quickly things are recategorized into sections of the grocery store. If I scroll down, sometimes Apple doesn't always get it right, but in this case, it looks like they have. Well, there's one thing: soap is in an area that's uncategorized. I could easily just push and hold on soap and drag it up under deodorant so it becomes part of personal care and health. So it takes time for your device to learn these things, but as you start dragging and dropping things into the area where you want them to be in the grocery store sections, Apple will remember that. The iOS or iPadOS will remember that. So that's how to get a list into the grocery store format with a list that you've already have created. But what about if you wanted a new list? Well, to start a new list, let's go ahead and tap on Add List at the bottom of the left-hand corner. Let me drop down the keyboard. And so right now, let's go ahead and pick a new icon. So I'm going to just pick a fish. Let's give this a name. I'm going to call this Shop and Save because that's another grocery store in our area. And I'm going to give it a new color. And let me put down the keyboard. And now again, let's go to this list type and let's change it from standard to groceries and tap on Done. Well, we don't have any items added, so let's go ahead and add an item. I'm just going to go ahead and say steak, and it should be added to, you have to hit enter or return. It should go ahead and it's added to the meat section. I'm going to go ahead and say carrots and hit enter or return. And you'll see that, so as you're creating your list, Apple is placing these items into the categories that they belong. And the more you use the list and add things, the better Apple, the iOS and iPadOS will learn what you're trying to do. The second new feature is organizing reminders into sections. So while reminders will automatically organize your grocery list entries, you can create similar headings in any standard list. So organizing your task however you like. Sections can be expanded and collapsed. So as you can see here, over on the right-hand side, you have these little down arrows. So I can collapse all of these, or I can expand them so that I can see what each tasks are under each headings. Reminders, they can be dragged and dropped between any of the sections. And so if I wanted to add a section to this grocery store list because there's something else I want to add to it, another section, I can go ahead and tap on the circle with 3 dots, tap on, or highlight even, because I didn't even have to tap on Manage Section, I just highlighted it. And I could either edit any of these sections, but if I wanted to add a section, I could go ahead and then I'm just going to type in condiments. And tap in enter. And then you could go ahead and add whatever it is. I'll go ahead and put mustard and hit enter. Now, you can see that when I do this, Apple says, well, maybe you want to move this to a sauces and condiments section. So if I tap on that, it should change the section header to sauces and condiments. And so this is, this isn't, the Apple iOS is learning the system and it's creating these sections for you so that you can easily create lists according to sections if you want to. And once you're finished with everything, you'll want to go ahead and tap on done. And now everything has been completed. I believe I could erase this section below that I named condiments by swiping to the left, tapping on delete, and now that section has been removed and deleted. If I wanted to create my own reminder list with sections, I'm going to go ahead and just tap Add List. I'm going to call that list, I'm just going to call it Morning Routine. Whoops. And I'm going to just leave that as it is and tap on Done. And now, if I wanted to do this by sections, if I tap the 3 dots in the upper right corner, there's going to be an area here to add a section. And let's just say I'm going to call this my 6 a.m. to 6:30. I'm going to tap on return. And so I could list there what I do from 6 to 6:30. I could also then tap on the circle with 3 dots if I wanted to and go ahead and say, let's add another section and we'll do this. What do I do from 6:30 to 7 a.m.? And so you can do this, tap on return. You can create sections in, any reminders list that you choose to. Sadly, there is no way to use section headers in smart lists. Hopefully, this will change. The third new feature allows us to view reminders in columns. And as the name suggests, columns let you view your reminders in separate columns organized by section. So in this case, we have our grocery list here. If I tap on the circle with 3 dots, and I go ahead and I say view as columns, now you'll see that my grocery list is listed in column sections. And depending on how you use sections, this would allow you to build a Kanban type board showing each stage of a task or simply zeroing in on a specific aisle at the grocery store. The fourth new feature is completing reminders using a widgets. Widgets are becoming interactive throughout the entire operating system. Apple has chosen the Reminders app to showcase how this works. Now, tapping on a reminder in any widget will immediately mark it as complete without ever opening the Reminders app. So, to create a widget, you want to find an empty area of your screen and push and hold. you're going to go ahead and tap on the plus button. Let me do that again. And we're going to locate on the left-hand side the Reminders app. You have 3 different reminders to choose from. I'm just going to go ahead and choose this middle one, and I'm going to say Add Widget. And right now you'll see that nothing is there. I'm going to tap on Done, and then I'm going to push and hold on the widget, and we're going to choose Edit Widget. Once I come in here, it gives me a list, and it says Reminders. I can go ahead and click on that, and then I can choose any of the lists that I've populated. So let's go ahead and choose the Shop and Save list. And then I'm going to tap on an empty area of the screen. And now you'll see that list appears in a widget on my home screen. And if I check off any of these items, more items will appear because, as you can see, there are 9 items. But what happens is when I click on carrots, it'll remain there for a second, and then carrots should disappear. And now that has been removed from that particular list. So that's the new thing in widgets, that it actually removes it from the reminders list. Last but not least is the 5th new feature in reminders, and this is early reminder notifications. One of the limitations of the Reminders app was being unable to get advance notice of a task. You could set a date and a time, but it would only trigger when that reminder came due. Well, now with iOS and iPadOS 17, you can set an early reminder, a task with a due date, and then you can add an early reminder anywhere from 1 minute to 200 months before the task is due. So as you can see, I'm in here in a list of appointments, and if I tap on any of the appointments, I'm just going to click on it. When you see the eye appear, tap on the eye, and now we can choose a date for this particular appointment. So let's go ahead and say September 13th, and we're going to choose a time, and let's just say 9 a.m. And below that, you're going to see an early reminder option. If I tap on that area, you can go ahead and choose between any of the pre-populated ones that you want to. So in this case, I could choose to remind me 2 days before, and I could tap on Done. And now you'll see that the appointment I have is at 9 a.m., but I'm going to receive an early reminders notification 2 days before that at 9 a.m. So that's how it's calculated. It's giving it to you. If you say 2 days before, it's going to notify you at the time of the appointment 2 days prior to the appointment. As you can see, the Reminders app got a nice update. Reminders became much more helpful. If you have questions or comments, post them below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.